morning everyone. I'm your speaker today. My name is Tasmy Lee and we're going to talk about the topic e-learning and face-to-face learning. So why e-learning? How did it actually started and became so essential and crucial in our lives? Well, we all know in 2020, COVID-19 took us by storm. Everyone had to stay at home, they had to quarantine at home, we weren't able to leave our houses. Adults weren't able to go to work, students weren't able to go to school and study, everyone just stayed at home. So this really created a big problem because how are we going to financially sustain ourselves and also worry about the infection of COVID-19 at the same time. So this really left everyone stressed and it caused a lot of hysteria among everyone, especially in rural areas. How are they going to actually adapt to this? Well, because of COVID-19, we really needed to adapt to the new norm. If not, we aren't able to survive and go through this together. So we are lucky enough because in this day and age, we have technology, we have the internet. Because of the technology and the internet that we have, we are privileged enough to be able to still go to work, have meetings, work from home, study from home with the easy access of the internet. We are able to have Zoom meetings, Google meetings, and also Skype and a lot of other very convenient platforms for studying and also working. So this really ensured us that technology really could help us in terms of work and study, because back then nobody really used Zoom meetings to have actual meetings, have work meetings, because why do that when you can actually go to the office, sit down and have an actual discussion? But because of COVID-19, we understand now that with Zoom meetings, we are able to have meetings with many people out of the state. So nobody had to travel to the same state, to the same office space, or to the same school to have education or to have a proper meeting. So this is such an advantage with e-learning. So let's talk even more about the benefits of e-learning before we talk about traditional face-to-face learning. So let's begin. So for e-learning, we understand that it saves cost. Why? Well, how does it save money, right? Well, because we don't have to travel. Students don't have to travel to go to school, and we can also save on accommodation, especially for students who study abroad. They usually would have to rent a room, rent a hostel, and they have to have transportation. If not, they need to pay for transportation like the MRT, the bus every single day. But because of e-learning, they are able to study in the comfort of their own home and they don't have to leave the house. So that is a really great advantage for students because it's also safe for girls, don't need to commute, and also it saves costs. We don't have to pay for traveling expenses. So this really is a great advantage for many students. They can just study from their own home. So what a great perk. You can wear your PJs, be at home and still attend classes. Although wearing your PJs to attend classes is not really advisable, but you could do that as well. And secondly, we're going on to the topic that we can discuss with e-learning. So there are so many platforms to learn from, especially nowadays. A lot of companies are coming out with a lot of special platforms to learn online. You can easily learn how to bake, how to stitch, how to solve an algebra problem just through a video. So this is so convenient, especially for people who is always on and about. They can actually just take out their phone, swipe right, or search up something that they need to know and understand, watch the video and learn from the video. So that is a great advantage of e-learning. You can learn anywhere, anytime without restriction. And for slow learners, you can actually pause the video, rewind the video, listen back and study back the classes and the topics that you do not understand. So that is such a great advantage for so many students because it's far more different than traditional learning, where you had to write down notes, you have to memorize whatever the teacher is saying in front of you, because if you miss out that 1-2 hours of class, you would forget and you will need to go through your textbook and everything to remind yourself and do revision. So having e-learning as a platform and having the leverage and advantage of actually zooming in or actually winding back to view the video is such a great advantage for students nowadays, especially for me, because I find it such a great advantage when I'm learning and I'm able to go back to the video, listen a few times, maybe 3-4 times on a certain topic and really understand the topic. So it's a really great way for people to learn from home. And also the other benefit is that it is really good for students when they have trouble learning. They can use that advantage, as I said, to learn back the classes, especially slow learners and students who struggle. So I am very grateful that there are such platforms like OUM. When you record the class, we can listen back to the class. It's such a great advantage. And also students nowadays are very focused and they have really short attention span, and they really need to watch shorter videos, quick information, learn on the go, and e-learning can do that. So that is a few great benefits and advantages of e-learning. Now let us go into traditional face-to-face learning. Don't get me wrong, e-learning is great, but face-to-face learning is still so important, and I personally love face-to-face learning because it is so much easier for me to understand more complex topics. If let's say the teacher is explaining something, I can raise my hand and ask questions and voice out and actually give my opinion, so that human to human interaction is so important. And also collaborative work, when we are able to collaborate with our peers, with our classmates on a project, and we are able to have proper meetings together. That's so important because we learn how to actually collaborate, to work together as a unit, and also do discussions and also build our relationship with one another. So that is so important, especially for human beings and for us students going into the working life. We really need to know how to communicate with people. You cannot just look in your computer and not know how to communicate. So with face-to-face learning, we are able to do that with our classmates, with our friends, with our teachers. So this is so important as well. And alternatively, students can also do role plays with the teachers. If let's say you have certain presentations or assignments, you can also do role plays with your teacher. So all of these are great perks of traditional face-to-face learning. And also, this is what I feel that students will feel more valued when it comes to face-to-face learning. How so? Because teachers are there for you. They can actually care for you, and you can feel their comfort and how they are actually teaching you. It's very different from just looking at the screen. You can actually feel that the teacher is there for you and they want you to learn, and if you have questions, they are there to help you and guide you. And if let's say you've done something well, they are able to give you a compliment, to encourage you. The encouragement from your teachers and your friends are important when it comes to learning, because it motivates you to want to learn even more. So the value when it comes to face-to-face learning is irreplaceable, and it's far more different than just looking in the screen and looking into a video. And last of all, traditional learning are able to teach students more highly skilled topics. As I said, the teachers can explain furthermore and more detailed when it comes to complicated topics. So this is great for students when they want to understand certain complicated topics, and the teacher is there to guide you and to help you through it. So all these are great advantages of traditional learning. So I'm going to end the video soon, but to conclude everything, both e-learning and traditional face-to-face learning have their disadvantages and advantages, but most of them are advantages. And I personally feel if we collab and merge the two together, it'll be the best of both worlds, because we are able to leverage on both of the advantages of face-to-face learning and e-learning. Face-to-face learning, I feel, should still go on, especially after the pandemic, because the collaborative work and to be able to see your friends and teachers is just so different, and the learning experience is far more different than just being at home and learning yourself. And e-learning is still important as well, because for students who are slower learners, they can listen back to the classes. So if let's say you go to face-to-face class and also record the class and you can listen back to it, it's also a great advantage. So the two together is really the best in terms of learning experience, especially in the 21st century. Everyone nowadays have their phones, tablets, laptop with them. It is easier for them to learn on the go, but still remember to meet your friends and teachers, because it's so different. The learning experience, what you can learn is a different experience. So both of them together, I feel, is the best outcome of the two. And I'm going to end the topic now, and I am very grateful and thankful that everyone stayed through the video and you gave me your time to listen to this video. So I want to thank you all, and I hope to see you all very soon, because we have never seen each other. So I bid you all a good night, and I'm going to leave now. So thank you so much for listening, and see you guys real soon. Bye bye.